Good evening from Washington, D.C., and thank you to those of you joining us from around the world for news from a Catholic perspective. I'm Lauren Ashburn. President Trump is challenging NATO allies in a series of face-to-face meetings in Brussels. He describes Germany as captive to Russia, and he's urging the military alliance to look into the issue. White House correspondent Mark Irons begins our team coverage of the NATO summit. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, Lauren. President Trump is scolding allies for not spending enough on their own security, forcing the U.S. to contribute more. And the charge that Germany is controlled by Russia comes less than a week out from a meeting President Trump will have with Vladimir Putin.
The president dishing out criticism of allied countries over breakfast in Brussels, airing his grievances to the leader of NATO who sat across the table.
We're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting everybody, and yet we're paying a lot of money to protect. Now, this has been going on for decades. This has been brought up by other presidents, but other presidents never did anything about it.
The president repeating a comment he made at last year's NATO summit. Allies should contribute more toward defense spending, doubling the amount from 2% to 4%.
They have to step it up immediately.
Jens Stoltenberg, the NATO Secretary General, says President Trump's message is having an impact.
We all agree that we have to do more. I agree with you.
Stoltenberg says allies are contributing billions more to NATO, in part due to the U.S. president's leadership. On the campaign trail, Donald Trump called NATO obsolete. But today, NATO leaders are reminding him a strong NATO alliance is good for Europe and the U.S.
It's great to be with you.
President Trump appeared to be on good terms with French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Angela Merkel.
We have a tremendous relationship with Germany.
But that remark came shortly after the president singled out Germany.
But Germany is totally controlled by Russia.
He describes it as inappropriate for a NATO ally to pay Russia for a natural gas pipeline while not contributing more to allied military spending.
Wait a minute, we're supposed to be protecting you from Russia, but why are you paying billions of dollars to Russia for energy?
When President Trump left the White House yesterday, he predicted his meeting with Vladimir Putin would actually be easier than his summit with allies. That was not very reassuring to NATO countries who see Putin as hostile. Lauren?
President Trump has met with Putin before. What issues will they focus on Monday?
The U.S. ambassador to Russia, John Huntsman, tells News Nightly that America needs to hold Russia responsible for election meddling and what he calls hybrid warfare. The two presidents also plan to discuss sticky issues like arms control and the conflicts in Ukraine and Syria. Lauren?
White House correspondent reporting, Mark Irons. Thank you.